everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. I am super excited because in today's video, we're gonna go bushwhacking for carp. Now don't worry if that technique sounds unfamiliar, I'm gonna teach you how to do it right now. Let's go. Alright guys, we are out here at the lake as you can see. Let's grab our fishing gear and see if we can't catch a fish. So the technique bushwhacking is sneaking around the bank trying to catch carp that are up shallow. This time of the year being May, the carp are spawning, they're very active. I've seen them jumping all over the place. I've seen them thrashing around in the reeds. They are very, very active and a lot of times they'll be up shallow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sneak very quietly around the bank and see if I can see them, and if I can see them, I can put my bait in front of them. Sometimes they'll bite, not always. Because come on, they're spawning, they might have other things on their mind. So guys, the area I am fishing today is a shallow bay with a ton of cattails, and that is key for this type of fishing, at least in this lake. These fish love the cattails. Reason being, number one, the cattails provide cover. There's this thick mat of dead cattails that these fish can swim underneath and get up into very shallow water, and they are not very noticeable. And you may be wondering, well, if they're underneath the mat, how do you find them? Well, thankfully the mat isn't that thick. There are some holes in there, and if you look through the holes, sometimes you can see the scale pattern, and you know there's a carp there. If they're feeding, sometimes you'll see them sucking around on the surface. But the most common way I find them is by looking for disturbances in the cattails themselves. If you see a cattail plant shake a little bit, or if you see some of the mat kind of wiggling and shaking, a lot of times that is an indicator that there is a carp close by. And when I see that, I just stop and I stare at that spot until I can visually see the carp. Sometimes I can't see them because the mat's too thick, but most times I'm able to pinpoint their location and then try to get them to bite. This is really shallow water, less than a foot. There's a carp right here. Right here. He's right beside it. He's right beside my bait. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. He's right beside my bait, dude. Got him. Oh my goodness, guys. I got him. Whew. That was insane. That was insane. It's a good fish. Wow. Oh my goodness, guys. I about had a heart attack. That fish was right in front of me, and I dropped my bait right in front of him, and he was just sitting right beside my bait for a good 30 seconds, not touching it. Finally, he slurped it in, and I set the hook. He just went crazy, flopping. He got on top of that mat and he couldn't even get back down. It was really easy for me to land him. Beautiful carp, maybe 2.5, 3 pounds. Not the biggest carp in the world, but still a blast to catch. I'll tell you what, bushwhacking carp is like one of the funnest ways you can catch them. Beautiful fish. Guys, I'm still shaking. That was intense. And it was awesome. Let's see if we can get another one. And by the way, wearing a head-mounted GoPro is never flattering. Alright guys, so we caught that one fish, that was awesome. I saw a couple other ones, wasn't able to get them to bite. So what we're going to do is we're going to go try on the other side of the lake and let this spot cool down, and we'll come back here and check it again in maybe an hour or so. Let's go. There he went, boys. Shoot, he was right there. He wouldn't take my bait. Just spooked a big one. He was right in front of me, slurping around. I had my bait in front of him multiple times. He just never took it in. Oh well, let's get another one. Guys, look what I just found. Ha ha! A crankbait. A KVD 1.5 crankbait right there. Anytime you can find free fishing lures, it's a good day. Now let's catch a fish. Come on. Got him. He's got me tangled up. I'm gonna have to go in after him. Whoo! That was intense. There he is right there. Oh. Woo! Finally got him. Ah! He was feeding right in front of me, guys. Man, that was a lot of work. Thank the Lord I got him, man. I was praying, literally. He was right in front of me, slurping on the weeds, and I put my bait in front of him. He nailed it. All right, guys, so sadly, my camera decided to conk, and I didn't get any more footage of this fish catch, but what I will tell you is that this carp was about the same size as the first carp I caught. It was still a fun fish catch, though. Alright guys, let's talk about what setup I am using today to catch these fish. I am using a very simple spinning setup. It's not a very heavy setup at all. When you're back here in this thick brush, when you're hiking around back in here, you don't want something big and bulky. You want something that's going to get in and get the job done. The reel I'm using is a cheap Fluger reel right here. The nice thing about using a cheap reel is I don't really have to worry about messing it up, getting it dirty, getting it sandy. This thing can get smacked around, it can get wet, it can get muddy, and I don't really care about it because it's so cheap. I'm able to abuse it a little bit, and trust me, when you're hiking back in this thick stuff, you will be abusing your gear a little bit. And I have a 6-foot medium action spinning rod with 8-pound test line. Now you may be wondering, 8-pound test line, that seems a little light, but what I found when using heavier lines, a lot of times these carp, when you're fishing them in close quarters scenarios, can be very, very spooky and wary, so using a light line is definitely going to help you catch more fish. If you have your drag set right and you know how to fight a fish, you should be fine even in this thick cattail. The rod is a 6-foot medium action spinning rod, very, very light. For the hook, I just have a standard small hook, and I put about 3 kernels of corn on the hook, and that is it. There's no weights, there's nothing else. It's just a hook and bait. Now this is a very, very simple rig, and I want a very simple rig because I'm basically just dropping this in front of the fish. There's no casting or reeling really involved, so a nice light setup that's not going to make a big disturbance when I set it in front of a fish is key. Boys. Got me all wrapped up. Woo! Alright guys, third carp of the day, about the same size as the last two. I'll tell you what, it is crazy. I'm seeing fish excess of 10 pounds swimming around, and they're not touching my bait. I think it's because they're spawning. I think when they're in spawning mode, they're not willing to feed for obvious reasons. But every now and then you find one who's not spawning and who's willing to feed. This thing took my bait twice. It spat it out the first time, and it came back for a second munch. Beautiful, beautiful carp. Super awesome to catch. I tell you what, fighting a fish in these tight weeds is a little scary, but I got her in. Beautiful fish. Well guys, I'm going to call it a day. I've been fishing for probably close to 4 hours straight. But anyway, it was a ton of fun. So guys, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If you guys want to see more instructional fishing videos, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys want to see my upcoming videos, you can subscribe to the channel right here, and you can check out my last video right here. And if you're a super fan and you want to support the channel even more, you can buy a t-shirt right here. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay hooked. I'll see you later.